And we're picking up again at Deuteronomy chapter 32. Give ear, O ye heavens, and I will speak, and hear, O earth, the words of my mouth. Notes. Both heaven and earth are called to account because this song is going to be called to witness for both. Verse 2. My doctrine shall drop as the rain, my speech shall distill as the dew, as the small rain upon the tender herb, and as the showers upon the grass. Because I will publish the name of the Lord, ascribe ye greatness unto our God. Notes. The word of the Lord always brings prosperity in one way or another. It is the greatness of God as the Almighty that is actually celebrated here. Verse 4. He is the rock. His work is perfect, for all His ways are judgment. A God of truth and without iniquity, just and right is He. Notes. Now, 5 times in this song, Jehovah is praised as the rock. Verse 4, 15, 18, 30, and 31. The occurrences in verses 31 and 37 ironically refer to the false rocks of the nations. 5 is the number of grace. Verse 5. They have corrupted themselves. Their spot is not the spot of His children. They are a perverse and crooked generation. Notes. Israel claimed to be the children of God, but they were really not. They were rather a stain and a reproach. Isaiah chapter 1, verse 4. How much does this pertain to our modern church? Verse 6. Do ye thus requite the Lord, O foolish people and unwise? Is not He your Father who has bought you? Has He not made you and established you? Notes. Repay Him for His blessings. They're repaying Him by just basically corrupting themselves. How stupid is that? Verse 7. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask your father, and he will show you. Your elders, and they will tell you. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when He separated the sons of Adam, He set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. Note. Now, this is saying long before there was in Israel, the Lord was planning for them. Verse 9. For the Lord's portion is His people. Jacob is the lot of His inheritance. Notes. The Lord measured out the inheritance of Israel, and He did it personally. You can read that in Genesis chapter 12, verse 10. He found him in a desert land and in the waste howling wilderness. He led him about, He instructed him, and He kept him as the apple of His eye. Notes. This must be taken as indicating that Israel is ever in the eye of the Lord, the object of His constant and tenderest care. As a matter of fact, the Spirit of God presently lives there. Verse 11. As an eagle stirs up her nest, flutters over her young, spreads abroad her wings, takes them and bears them on her wings, so the Lord alone did lead them, and there was no strange God with them. Notes. Israel must admit that none of these strange gods worshipped by the heathen had anything to do with what the Lord alone had done for them. And that was my dog Snowball shaking. And he's looking at me. Verse 13. He made him ride on the high places of the earth, that he might eat the increase of the fields. And He made him to suck honey out of the rock, and out of the flinty rock. Butter of kine, which is cattle, and milk of sheep, with fat of lambs, and rams of the breed of Bashan, and goats with the fat of kidneys of wheat. And you did drink the pure blood of the grape. Notes. Now this does not speak of fermented wine, as some claim. What they esteemed as a luxury was the pure, unadulterated juice of the grape, freshly pressed out and drunk with the foam on it. Verses 7 through 14 celebrate his goodness and bounty during the period of the Pentateuch. Verse 15. But Jeshurun waxed fat and kicked. You are waxed fat, and you are grown thick. You are covered with fatness. Then he forsook God, which made him, and lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation. Notes, Jeshurun means righteous. He predicts that Israel will fall into a state the opposite of that which it was destined. And verses 5 through 19 it records Israel's evil response to that goodness during the period of their kings. They foolishly esteemed their rock. We're going to read that very soon. Verse 16. They provoked him to jealousy with strange gods. With abominations provoked they him to anger. They sacrificed unto demons, not to God, to gods whom they knew not, to new gods that came newly up, whom your fathers feared not. Notes. God recently invented or discovered. I mean, come on. Duh. Verse 18. Of the rock who beget you, you are unmindful and have forgotten God who formed you. Notes, they rebelled against their Maker. I mean, that's what I should have said a minute ago. Verse 19. And when the Lord saw it, he abhorred them because of the provoking of his sons and his daughters. And he said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end will be. For they are a very froward generation, children in whom is no faith. Notes. This verse contemplates the period between the captivity in Babylon and the advent of the Messiah. They had faith all right, but it was in the wrong thing, which was their own form of religion. Guess what? It is the same problem right now in our modern church. People are doing things the way that they think they should do them and completely ignoring God. As a matter of fact, I'll even go as far and say that most of the people who claim that they are saved truly are not. Verse 21. They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities, and I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation. Note, now this verse relates to the period of the Acts of the Apostles in Romans chapter 10, verse 11. It pertains to the Lord turning to the Gentiles. Verse 22. For a fire is kindled in my anger, and shall burn unto the lowest hell, and shall consume the earth with her increase, and set on fire the foundations of the mountains. Notes, verses 22 through 23 relate to Israel's dispersion among the nations of the world after AD 70. Verse 23. I will heap mischiefs upon them. I will spin my arrows upon them. Notes. Now, as righteousness brings blessings, well, obviously wickedness brings judgment. Verse 24. They shall be burnt with hunger, and devoured with burning heat, and with bitter destruction. I will also send the teeth of beasts upon them, with the poison of serpents of the dust. The sword without and terror within shall destroy both the young man and the virgin, the suckling also with the man of gray hairs. Notes, this has happened to Israel dozens of times in the last 2,000, give or take, amount of years, but more particularly during the Holocaust of World War II. There was the diaspora, there was the Babylonian kings. I mean, come on. This has completely been fulfilled. And we will have to pick up in Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 26. Thank you very much.